Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at this jolly fool we have here. Wonderful energy. I feel like you're in such a new place in your life. I don't know if you started over somewhere, if you just kind of turned over a new leaf. There's some sort of freedom. There's this light and airy playfulness about you right now. And I feel that this might be a return of your sense of humor. I feel like you're taking things a lot less seriously lately. You know, maybe it's the change of seasons that's approaching here. In the north, we're getting ready for fall, autumn, my favorite kind of time of the year. In the southern hemisphere, getting ready for spring. Like, this is it. This is, of course, the green man of spring. So this might be heralding a change of pace for you, a change of perspective, a change of outlook. It might be a renewal of hope even, a renewal of optimism, a return of the light, a return of the life, a return of the sense of humor. But I feel like you're in a really good place, right? Or if anything, this is coming soon, okay? This might be the energy that you need right now. This light and playful, I don't need a direction, I don't need a road, gonna kind of see what happens, and this is really, really good. We're going to put this into some context, of course, and see what else is taking place. We got a 2 of Wands. 7 of Swords. 3. 3 of Wands. Got a Queen of Swords. And the Hierophant. My palm is really, really itchy. That doesn't usually happen. That means something here. With the Fool and the Hierophant, very different energies, right? This is sort of has no identities, totally free, totally open, is just totally not of this earth, totally transcended. Of course, the Hierophant is very formal, very traditional, very fixed in its, rules and laws and the order and the established wisdom, right? And the Fool is just like, I don't need your books, right? This is street smarts. This is book smarts, right? I like it. I think I like that we have. And it could really be that you did sort of this cleansing or purging of yourself. You let go of a lot, and now you're ready to fill yourself up with what really is important to you from a spiritual source, right? Maybe we've unlearned a lot, and here we're going to sort of relearn what's really necessary. Here we have the Moon card, your superpower card. This is the card that rules the sign of Pisces. We've got a 4 of Wands, the cycle, letting go of things. 5, and an Ace. There's the certainty and the direction that we need. At the end of the day, the Fool is going to have something to do. The Fool's going to know its course. Maybe this is a period of intense purging, right, of everything that you thought you knew, everything that you thought you believed, and even really a letting go of your old identity even, and finding this new divine path. This is beautiful. I think your world is changing very fast right now. I think that once this, it feels like this is a big karmic cycle for you, and I feel like this is the big one, And when this completes, I think you're going to feel like a new person. I really do, literally. Mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we'll just put it down over here. Put our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. That's right. And it's going to tie everything together. It's going to give us, whoops, this card came out too. I guess it is important. Another 5 of Cups. Stuck to my fingers. This card will give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, put it down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's exercise our intuition. All right? And it might be fun anyway. Let's take a look around the room. We've got some major arcana. 1, 2, 3. We've got the Fool and the Hierophant. And, of course, your superpower card. It could be that you are letting go of everything that you thought you were. This whole previous identity of yours with the 3 of Wands. Letting go of that previous identity. Maybe even letting go of all the learning, all the knowledge, everything that we thought we knew, everything that we thought we were, so that you can find your true essence, your true spiritual self, so that you can be on that true spiritual path, right? So I think that this is really, the world really, really is changing for you. The major arcana are very, very powerful cards. And they really couldn't be more different. Right? Because the Fool and the Hierophant are just opposites. Maybe the Pisces card, the Moon card, is kind of somewhere in the middle of all of this, right? That maybe it's not totally Fool, maybe it's not totally the Sage either, that you're somewhere in between, right? That you're partaking of both wisdom and folly, right? This is outstanding, and this is very good for you. We could be talking about something very practical. We could be kind of talking about you giving up this, maybe it's a position in life, a position in a career or a company or some sort of a position or a role that you held previously. It's almost as if you're giving that up in order to really pursue what is meaningful to you. Maybe you're switching careers, maybe you're switching schools, maybe you're just on a fresh start anywhere in your life. Okay? Maybe that's what you need now. We've got the 2 of Wands here. Now, let's look at our elemental energy, though, real quick, because I see the fire and the fire. We have the water, which at first was only 1 water, but then we got this one that's kind of that volunteered. So we got 2 water cards. And, of course, we have our air cards here with another one over there. And as far as the earth goes, we've, let's see, 1, 2, 3 for the fire, 2 for that, and then 3 for that. Yeah, we don't have any earth other than the Hierophant. The Hierophant is that Taurus energy, it's a fixed earth energy. So this really could be a good idea of the manifestation that you are invoking, right? That you're working toward. This is what we're going to achieve ultimately. And I wonder if the Hierophant is you sort of becoming an authority of some kind, not like just becoming the boss, but really becoming like a master at something, an expert. Sometimes this is the expert energy. And, it could be that you are sort of, you got to move past the previous role that you had and start working toward this one. Maybe you're realizing that, you're meant to achieve some sort of prominence in life. You are becoming an expert in whatever field you're in, or maybe it's a completely new field. But it's a long way from the Fool to the Hierophant, right? It feels like it is a pretty long journey, to get from that to this. But I feel like this is something that you're meant for. You're meant for greatness. You're meant. This is. I almost feel like you're starting a new course or a new career in college or university or something, right? And it's kind of starting as the freshman, right? Just start first day at school, right? By the end of it, you're going to be running that school. You're going to be owning it. You're going to be tenured, right? But it might be a long journey from here to here. And it's going to involve a lot. Your life is going to change completely. If you're starting on a new path, before you really achieve prominence or this level of expertise, you're going to have to do some work. It's not an overnight thing, right? But with the Two of Wands that we see, I wonder if this is closer than you think. Maybe you've been on this fool path for a while now. Maybe it's not, as it sort of feels like to me that this is something that's like starting today. It's going to take 4 years, whatever, however long, depends on your major, to get to a position of prominence. Maybe this is you graduating, cap and gown kind of thing. But it might be that you're closer than we think. Maybe you've been at this already for quite a while. Yeah, the idea could be here that you've already done 3 years, and this is sort of your last one. It could be, though, even that you're getting very close to the end of this path, and this is the point where you're starting to question the path. When you're just like, you're graduating next week, right? And now it's like, do I still want, or this is maybe because it's September, we're going into the last year. It's just about, school's just about to start again, And maybe you're thinking, I don't know if do I still want to do this? One more year. Do I still want it? Right? So this could be like, senior year jitters, where we're just like, we're going through this heart and mind sort of issue to make sure we still want this the same way we did before. And now this doesn't have to be school. This could be anything. It could be a relationship. Could be a career of any other kind. It could be any sort of work that you do. But it seems like it is some sort of an enterprise or an endeavor that has a rather specific path from folly to wisdom, right? And this is kind of, you're learning something here anyway. Maybe you're an apprentice in some kind of a trade or a technical skill or something like that, But it's something, and maybe you're retired, maybe you're a senior citizen, and this is, this is something that you're beginning, or that you have started, and there is a certain level of proficiency that you wish to arrive at, that Hierophant energy. And so it's a process going from you're green, like you don't have any experience at all, to now you're running the place. Okay? This could be anything. Anything else. Maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're in your senior years, it doesn't matter. The point is, I think that right now we're saying, hold on a second, we're about to like sign up for the next year, and we're just like, do I still want to do it again? This is like my wife and I. My wife does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings on YouTube. We have a 4-year-old daughter, and we sign her up for her classes, and she's in music class, she does jujitsu class, she's horse riding stuff. And right when we're just about to like sign her up and pay the fee for her to do it for another semester or another year or whatever, we ask her, now, do you still want to do it? And she says, yeah, I still want to do it. Because we've been in a situation before, in fact, it's kind of like that right now, where we signed it. She said, do you want to do it? She said, yeah. Okay, we sign it up, we pay the money. And then the next week goes by and it's time to go to our class. She's like, I don't want to do this class anymore. I don't like it. We just asked you that last week. You said you did. So it's kind of like we make sure that we are still in it. Make sure that we still want it before we commit to yet the next grueling phase to get to our Hierophant energy, right? And I think that's what this Two of Wands is about. And when we're asking ourselves this question, well, we've got that Seven of Swords underneath. And the Seven of Swords is like, okay, well, let's look at this from all possible angles. Let's look before we leap. Before we just dive into the next year, we're going to take a look around the room and make sure we still want this, make sure it's still the future that we're looking for, and make sure that we're still sort of on track to achieve it. And let's really analyze this thing again and get a higher perspective so that we can, sometimes the Seven is kind of like, we're not able to see the wood for the trees, okay? So we're being shown the Queen of Swords at the top. because we're trying to look at it from all different angles, but we're inside of it. So that's kind of like, it's weird to do that. So what we can do is rise above everything and look at the whole process. Look at it from beginning to end, right? And look at it from your distant past and look at it into the distant future and see what you see. See what kind of insights that brings you. I think it's bringing you a lot of clarity, a lot of certainty about your path. Maybe this is the certainty of the path that you don't want this path anymore, right? And I'm not, Tarot's not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but I feel like this is the moment where you need the clarity to decide if you're still going to continue with this or if you better just kind of cut your losses now and take off, you know. The Three of Wands in the previous sort of energy position here, kind of what is behind you, it makes me wonder if we've had these sort of moments before. In other words, if we've committed to something, we've identified with something, we started a fool's journey towards something, and then we had to stop and say, wait a minute, I don't know if I still want to go. Maybe this was wrong. Sometimes the Three of Swords is a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. I'm truly identified with it. And, you know, I've said this to myself in the past too, where when I was younger, I'd say, wow, this is it. This is me. I'm going to do this forever. This is going to be my whole absolute life. And it wasn't. You know, I used to say this about playing drums. I say that's it. I'm going to be the drummer. That's going to be my whole life till the day I die. I'm going to be a drummer. You know, and life happens sometimes. You know, and sometimes we have to reevaluate our plans and where we are. So there's been times in my life where I thought I was so intensely and exclusively identified with something, with an activity or a lifestyle or a purpose or, you know, a career or something in school. And I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That's me, you know. And that changes over time. It just does. For some people, maybe it doesn't. I think those people, maybe they're just not looking, you know. If we ignore the impulse, we just stick with it, then yeah, like I know people that when they were just a kid, they say, I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Sure enough, today, 30, 20-something years later, they're still doing it. And I'm thinking, gosh, that must be nice because I've never been able to do that. You know, I've identified with one thing after the other and thought, that's going to be my whole life. Wait, no, that's me over there. It's this never-ending search for the elusive self, you know. And I think really it's because our self is not an object to be found. It is constantly changing and adapting and growing and evolving and experiencing life. It's a 3, it's not a 4, right? It's not a solid thing. It's ephemeral. It is ethereal. It is constantly changing and adapting to a constantly changing and adapting environment. And so it's not something that can necessarily be found, but it can be felt. And sometimes we feel that, oh yeah, drumming, that's me, that's my identity. Or other times, when I was an EMT, that's my identity. That's what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Yeah, in that moment, that was the feeling that I'd found myself, you know, found my identity. And of course, it evolves and changes, and we keep looking. So that may or may not be your experience. That's my point is that you've had that feeling of that's my identity, that's me over there, and that's what I want. Maybe it still feels that way. The point is we have to do the analysis every once in a while. We've got to be able to look at ourselves. And that's the 7. I think the 7 of Swords might be saying that, you know, there's some other, you know, you're having these other thoughts that, you know, maybe other things are looking kind of better. Maybe you feel like yourself is over there now, you know, or taking you over there, right? Because we're just a bundle of processes. We're an aggregate of experience. And the more experience we have, the more our sense of self changes. The more what we want changes. The more who we are changes. Even if we were isolated in a room, we still have thoughts and feelings. that are constantly changing who we are and our core identity. Right? I'm not talking about our spirit, our divine fire or anything, but in the expression of that through the lens of our personality is always changing. Right? So we have that kind of those doubts, those little nagging thoughts, and thinking, well, maybe, I wonder, I don't know yet. I don't know if I still want to do this. We have to get that perspective. We have to get that bird's eye view and see if this is still something you identify with or not. Right? I think in a lot of ways, you're getting the confirmation that, yes, this is still you. This is still what you want. But I'm not going to say that definitively, okay? Because we don't know. Because there is no definitive anything, right? So it seems like the energy is trending toward you being very close to this accomplishment, this expertise, this position of prominence, this graduation day, whatever it is, right? But we just don't know for sure if you still want it. Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent and the reason why we got 2 5 of cups. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription, though. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost anything, and it helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate the support. So thank you all so very, very much. Your power card, your superpower card. This is that elusive identity that we're searching for, right? And it's kind of like we are in a dark forest at night with no flashlight. And we're running around groping in the darkness, trying to find ourselves, trying to find where we belong, what we're supposed to do, who am I, where am I going? We need the light. This is sometimes, the real darkness. It is the new moon. It is a waning moon sort of energy. We just can't see what's out here all the time. And I think that this is sort of your general energy now because you're trying to shine some light on who you are, to see what's there, just to get confirmation that, yeah, I still can see my 3 of Wands in here. We're good to go, right? Just doing a quick double check and then let's go. Let's continue. Got to make a little bit of a pit stop, got to kick the tires, and then, yeah, let's go. Okay. But it's also interesting in the moon card that there is all this darkness, right? And we're searching for that concept of self, but we realize that our self is right there. That sun is our self, right? And that's the pure light of our consciousness. So it's kind of like we're running around searching for ourselves, but each action, each step we take, every thought, word, and deed is an expression of ourself and is also sort of changing ourselves, changing our conception of ourselves. So it's kind of like the quantum physics or whatever, that just by the simple fact of observation, we are changing the behavior of reality, right? So every step you take is changing everything. And I always like to say, especially with the Pisces and the moon energy, that we're literally on the cutting edge of consciousness. Every moment that we're conscious, we are expanding the universe in space and time. We are expanding consciousness. We're expanding reality. We are creating reality. We are everyone who's alive right now, we're right up at the very edge of the bubble of consciousness, the edge of the universe, right? And we just keep poking and pushing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, further out into nothingness, And it can be scary, right? That's part of the moon card, is the idea of fear. And there's just, the more space we create, the more life there is, the more room there is for monsters, But the more room there is for joy and gladness and pleasure and companionship and intimacy and all these things too. Anyway, so the elusive search for ourselves. The 4 of Wands in the position of the environment. your relationship with the environment. One, I think that there is this really big karmic cycle that's ending for you. And it could be really the ending of the school year, right? And we're about to begin another one. And it's kind of like we just need to kick the tire before we start moving it again, before it starts spinning around. I feel like before you're ready to continue on this path, there are some things that you have to resolve. I don't know if there's a relationship issue going on or somebody in your life. And I feel like somebody wasn't very nice to you, or somebody acted in an inconsiderate way toward you. I feel like you just kind of need to, I feel like it was a misunderstanding more than anything. You just kind of got to ask them about it, and it's really nothing, right? The Four of Wands is us manifesting something that we want, manifesting our will, but we know that this is a temporary manifestation. This is impermanent. Okay. In a way, it's basically saying that, yes, this is what you want for right now. And I think this is allowing yourself to be very flexible, that you're not bound to this particular wheel, that you can change your mind, you can change your course, you can change your direction at any time. This is very reassuring in life. Knowing that nothing is permanent, nothing is fixed. So I can immerse myself in this work, I can go for this glory and this prominence and this whatever this is. If I don't like it, I can stop. We can stop anytime. We can stop at any time when we have the brakes. Okay, if maybe we're done searching and we just say, this is it. I don't want to, I don't want to make any changes. I just want things to continue going as they've been going. I want a nice, round, smooth wheel, so it's a nice, easy journey. But it's having that option. It's knowing that we can tie something up and say, okay, that's done, on to the next thing now. I don't want that anymore. I can easily leave it behind, right? But it's not maybe always easy to do that, because then if we decide that something's not for us anymore and we want to leave it behind, well, then there are feelings of guilt or feelings of inadequacy or feeling as if maybe we made a mistake. Those are some of the Seven of Swords things, and those are some of the Five of Cups things that we see here. And we do have 2 Fives of Cups in the position of what we don't want, right? We don't want it, but we need it. Because sometimes letting go of one thing, mourning the spillage of these 3 cups here, is hopefully, if we can turn around, we can see that there's a new wave of love coming our way anyway, right? So it's our ability to deal with very contrasting emotions. The intensity of the unpleasant emotions giving way to the intensity of the very, very pleasant emotions. Okay? In other words, it's saying that this path you're on now, sometimes it's going to feel great, sometimes it's not going to feel so great. Doesn't mean it's not meant for you. Just because it feels bad doesn't mean it is bad. Just because it feels good, of course, doesn't mean it is good. So in your experience of this path that you're on from folly to wisdom, sometimes it's going to be real bad days. But just because it kind of sucks today doesn't mean that you don't ultimately still want it. Okay? And maybe these cards have shown up twice like this because it's saying right now, the reason why we're in that 2 of Wands, this sort of, okay, stop and look around, maybe because you had a really bad day. Maybe this is more of the relationship thing. I said it felt like somebody's being inconsiderate to you or something. Maybe this has happened at school or in this context, and it's making you think, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore. Right? Don't do anything impulsive. Just stop, take a look around. Let the feeling pass. Just because something bad happened today doesn't mean that it's condemning the entire project or the entire group or the entire, let's say you're at school. You have a bad day at school. People are mean to you. Doesn't mean you want to drop out or quit school. Maybe in this moment you do, yeah. But it doesn't mean you ultimately will or want to. Okay, so it could be with the Five of Cups. We have to let the feelings pass to see like, okay, yeah, it sucked, but that was yesterday and today's a new day. I still ultimately want the goal I'm after. Yeah. So anyway, we're looking for the clarity, the Ace of Swords. This is really what it's about, is you being able to see past the feelings and the trouble and the questions and the doubts and see things for what they really are and get that connection with Spirit. To tell you, I'm losing my voice today, to tell you, pardon me one second. Mango. To see if this is still something that means anything to you. And again, just because we had one bad day doesn't mean we hate this thing, altogether. Okay. But the converse is also true. Just because it's mostly fun and games doesn't mean it's the right thing for us. We need the evaluation. We need to take a look at it. We need the perspective and the clarity, right? Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe that'll help us. Maybe we'll get a little bit of clarity with this. I don't know what this is going to be. I kind of don't want to try to predict, though. I guess I'd like to see some earth energy, a 9 or a 10 of pentacles. Maybe a 10. Yeah. Maybe, 9 or a 10. Yeah. Let's see what we have. Oh, well, it's a 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups, I think, is good because it's showing a fundamental love and identity with this other thing, with this situation, with this context. If it's the school, if it's the career, if it's the relationship or whatever. It shows that, yeah, I think you really do still ultimately want this, even though there are some bad days. This is still something that you are in love with. This is still something he says, yes, that's me. I want that. I want that. I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, right? And maybe the clarity is for you to see that despite all the trouble and the ups and downs and the bumps in the road and everything, this is still something that you're very much in love with, right? And from that love is born the courage to deal with the bumps in the road, okay? So I think if I had to predict this, I would say, yes, you're very close to succeeding here. And this is something that you really do still love in your heart of hearts. Don't let a few bad days destroy this, all right? Very interesting reading. We're going to do an extended as well if you want to stick around. There is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces on Thursdays and Sundays. If you don't want to watch the extended readings here, you can go to the website, doveandserpenttarot.com. If you haven't subscribed here, though, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.